Everyone is in a different stage of their evolution and how to use data. And we have millions and millions of data points at our disposition to be able to leverage. We are very careful to ensure that we're leveraging that in the best interest of our agents. And so that's something we really try to convey outwardly to our agents and their partners, that we're never going to do anything to step on their toes, but we want to help enable them to be more effective at working with their clients.
Welcome to the Marketing Rapport, a podcast created for and by marketing professionals who seek to better understand their consumers and design unique, personalized experiences that stand out in today's market. In each episode, hosts from Verisk Marketing Solutions connect you to industry thought leaders, practitioners, and experts focused on improving B2C experiences through powerful data-driven insights. It's about how we connect with our consumers and where we can partner together to do it better. This is the Marketing Rapport.
Welcome to the Marketing Rapport podcast. I'm Tim Finnigan, and I head up product marketing at Verisk Marketing Solutions. And we are a business unit within Verisk specializing in consumer data and insights. And on this podcast, I talk to industry leaders about data-driven marketing. Hey, we're into our third season. We've had incredible episodes ranging from measuring media quality with Harman Lyons of Adelaide, to leveraging data for a competitive edge with Lisa Gilson at Arity, to adapting to digital identity shifts with Shiv Gupta from U of Digital. As you can imagine, there's a lot of incredible content there. So I was recently asked to write an article about consumer data's critical role in the future of media measurement. I went into past episodes, including Kelly Barrett from ComScore and John Watts from the Coalition of Innovative Media Measurement, to get some inspiration. And if you're interested in reading it, I posted on my LinkedIn page, or you can go to the Verisk website, marketing.verisk.com. Let's get to today's podcast. The theme of today's podcast revolves around the integration of effective communication, data-driven strategies, and the balance between creative and technical aspects in marketing, particularly within the InsureTech industry. On this episode, I talked to Jordan Yospe, a MarTech executive at Integrity Marketing Group. And we had a great conversation about lead quality and communication, where Jordan emphasizes the importance of clear communication and high quality lead generation. Then we got into data-driven marketing, and he explains that using data is crucial for delivering the right message and using that data to understand consumer behavior and improve lead quality. Finally, we talked about balancing art and science. And he highlights the balance between creative and technical aspects in marketing. And he stresses that effective marketing requires both emotional engagement and data-driven insights. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Welcome to the Marketing Rapport podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, Tim. It's great to be here.
I love that you're here today. And I think I'm just going to hammer you with, I've got like so many questions because your business is so interesting to hear about. So before I get into all those questions, let's just sort of level set with everybody and just tell us a little bit about what you do at Integrity and what Integrity Marketing Group does.
Sure. Yeah. So I am the Senior Director of Marketing Channels at Integrity Marketing Group. What Integrity does is they are a national distributor of life, health, and wealth products. So they do a lot in the life and health insurance space, as well as in the wealth planning and wealth advisory space. So
just a cute little, small little.
Yeah, that's right. Our CEO likes to say we're the biggest company you've never heard of. That's kind of his tagline, because we're really not that well known in the insurance space. I think a lot of people know us, but outside of that, your mom or your grandma might be working with an Integrity agent, and you don't realize it and they don't realize it.
And, I totally get that, because Verisk is known within the insurance space, but Verisk Marketing Solutions, when we go talk to people outside of insurance, we have to explain our whole story that, hey, we were once in Futor and Jornaya and we formed, and they're like, oh, okay, we get it. It's like you have to constantly remind people.
Yeah. These amalgamations of companies that kind of have CEOs with bigger visions and bring things together. I think we probably share that common thread with Verisk as well. Yeah.
So what do you do exactly, or like you're most responsible for at Integrity?
Yeah, so my team, we are responsible for all of the outbound as well as the nurture marketing that happens. Both for our business is interesting because we have a direct to consumer model that my team is responsible for, both generating leads, nurturing those consumers through to purchase, and then matching them to an advisor or agent, as well as allowing agents or consumers to purchase or enroll on their own. But we also do a lot of B2B and B2B2C. So it's kind of all of the things, right? Agent recruitment, advisor recruitment, servicing those relationships, also getting our platform partners the resources they need to have access and utilize the technology that we provide them. Through all of that, it's everything from content marketing, social media advertising, paid search, direct mail, national television advertising, building websites and experiences, through to nurturing and doing journey based and marketing automation campaigns. So that's kind of encompasses what my team does. Yeah.
A little piece of like all marketing, the really important stuff. Like I'm sure you probably get asked every day, like, we need more leads. We need more.
Yeah.
We need more outbound. How do you deal with that? Like, is it constantly creating something like a state of marketing report, like, hey, this is what we do, or partnering with sales? Like, how do you get that message out of what you're doing?
Yeah, I'd say one thing that we do very well as an organization is that we're great communicators. You're right. An advisor's main thing to complain about is leads. And I think this is true for any sales business, right? That the salesperson is either getting not enough leads or the leads that they're getting are not high quality enough. That's what I always tell people when they're kind of coming to us with a problem around leads. But one thing that is inherent in our DNA is that communications aspect. So a lot of it is kind of getting the right message to the right person at the right time, but also making them feel like they're getting surround sound about the things that are important, the prioritized messages. So for us, just to back up a little bit of our background and kind of my background coming up through this industry, I obviously haven't been with Integrity forever. We were acquired about 5 years ago. So the company I was at is a communications and advertising firm. And so we had really honed that skill of knowing how to communicate something because we're in the client services business, right? That's what our model was really servicing our clients and helping their campaigns come to life. And so as we've become now part of this organization that we're really had to shift gears to be focused on the insurance distribution side, we've got an approach to it that they really appreciate. Our partners really appreciate, their advisors and their agents really appreciate, because it is very high quality, high touch, and also personalized to them. So leveraging and using data so that we know how to get that right message to them in the right time in the right place.
So Jordan, I want to sort of stop there and dive a little deeper on when you talked about the right message at the right time. I mean, I've talked about this on this podcast at nauseum about sort of that's the holy grail of doing that and delivering those quality leads. Can you just talk about maybe some tips that you do to make sure, or if you've got any platform or what data that is to deliver or to make the leads better?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. So I think it really starts at the strategy level, first and foremost. The ethos or the approach or philosophy we've really adopted is and I'm sure you're familiar with this, Tim, the Daniel Kahneman thinking fast and slow approach to psychology, right? Which is system one is focused on that fast thinking, quick, instinctive decision making that a consumer is doing, or an agent or a B2B audience. And then system two is slow, intentional, analytical thought and purchase decisions. So really, when we're talking about how do we get consumers the right message at the right time in the right place, it really is all three of those things together. I think oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this too in my career in the last 10 years, that we say, hey, it needs to be data driven and we need to rely on the data, but it's also as equally parts data as it is the ethos or the emotion that you make someone feel and nudging that behavior that you want to see happen. So it's about putting an emotional stimulus in front of them. And so we have really talented creative people that work here in the office with me and nationally across all of our partner offices that help us to bring a campaign to life. And then to the second part of your question is my team is more responsible with help bringing that creative message to life using the technology, the solutions, and the software that are at our disposal. So when I came into the agency prior to it being acquired by Integrity, so I've been here 10 years, it was primarily a direct response marketing agency that relied heavily, heavily, heavily on national television advertising and direct mail. So driving consumer intent through those channels. And we had to make the shift, which is why they brought me in to help really transform the business to be a digital first business and bring on enterprise solutions in CDP and marketing automation tools like Salesforce and programmatic bidding to be able to, okay, we're doing the message part great, but how the consumer gets the message is changing, right? It's not just a TV ad followed by a direct mail piece. So to really think about that time and place of being in the right place to the individual. So those are some of the things that I've helped implement both at Thomas Arts, the company that I came from that was acquired by Integrity, and now at Integrity. We're doing those same things as bringing in the right tool set. And part of that's, for example, our Verisk relationship, ensuring that we have the right data providers so that we can find those consumers and use that first, second, and third party data to find those consumers, but also then leveraging the technology to be able to do that. So, yeah.
Jordan, it's like, as you're telling me this, it's like, I think when I was in college, I was like, oh, marketing, I'll just be a marketing major. It's just about creative and creating a message and building an ad. But now, like, fast forward to now, like, it's a science. Well, I guess it's art and science, but there's technical things that you have to do to really make sure that great work that you're doing on creative is hitting the consumer where they want to be.
That's right. Yeah, I think so just to give a little personal context for me, I grew up in a home that my dad was an advertising executive, right? So he did ad campaigns growing up, and I always had in my mind what's marketing, and that's what I want to go do is sit on shoots and give creative direction and things like that. And then I got into the real field and I thought, never did I think I would spend this much time in Excel, right? and doing actual data manipulation and data crunching. And you're right, it's equal parts. And that's really our philosophy is it's equal parts art and science in order to have that emotional connection. Just going back to that Daniel Kahneman approach and how do we create the behavior? It's equal parts. And so I would encourage, I've gone back to my alma mater and spoken to their marketing students and really encourage them, hey, you should probably know some things about SQL or programming, even if you don't plan to become a programmer. I never planned to oversee developers, yet I need to know how to speak their language. And so I think you're right. It's just as important to have that both sides of it.
So Jordan, when you talked about in the beginning, sort of the industries that you focus on, insurance and financial service, and integrity marketing, correct me if I'm wrong, is more of an InsureTech, right? Is that sort of the industry that you would fall in?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. InsureTech is probably our primary category. Yeah.
So what do you think, like from your opinion, is the future of InsureTech or future of insurance, and how companies can better serve the carriers? Or just tell me what's going on and maybe looking into the future and what.
Yeah, I would say we first and foremost serve our agents because we understand that our agents and advisors are the ones that have that one-to-one personal individual relationship with their clients. Now, that also entails helping get them the right clients, but in order to serve our advisors, our insurance agents, we have to equip them with the best technology, the best data, the best ability to make recommendations to their clients. So I'm not on the product and engineering side, but I work very closely with them because we use a lot of that in how we reach consumers and how we reach advisors too, right? And agents. So how do we find the right agent, and how do we equip them with the right tools and the right cues? So a good example of that would be in previous years, we're heavy in the Medicare space. We've built proprietary models to be able to tell our agents when one of their customers is about to be disrupted by a plan change of service, right? So if their Medicare plan's changing, or their doctors or covered networks, their network coverage is changing, we in advance give them that buyer cue using some of our proprietary models, and also relying on some of the industry data to be able to alert them within our technology to the change that's about to happen for their individual customer, so they can then have a conversation with that person to be able to help them to get into the right plan. So as a marketer, my job is to really help concisely tell an agent who may or may not be super versed with technology how to use our tools to do those types of things to best serve their customers.
And how are you getting that message? Is it just like is it training? Is it videos? Is it sales book, playbooks? Like, how are you getting that message out there to them?
Yeah, it's all of the above. I think I talked earlier about that 360 surround sound, right? It's really surrounding them from all angles. We also leverage, like I'd mentioned, customer data platforms and advanced targeting to be able to try and find those agents that are going to be most impacted, to deliver advertising to them, or to have journey-based marketing based on previous activities that they've done to really try and drive the message home. But it's all of those things. And for us too, like I said, our model is direct to consumer. It's B2B, it's B2B2C. So a lot of it too is making sure our partners are equipped to inform or educate their agents as well.
You know, it sounds, I was perusing on your website, and one of the things that you highlighted is how you improve the consumer experience. And from talking to it really sounds like that's your main focus, is not only from the carriers, but the consumers, like improving and making that experience better. I want to get back to what you said about being data driven, and go a little deeper on how you specifically, your team and Integrity are being more data driven. Because I do hear a lot about, and you see a tons of studies about, yes, data is important. Companies still aren't getting it right. They still, there's all these phrases and keywords, but I still think there's an opportunity, but there's some people are doing it right. And it sort of sounds like you guys are on the path of getting it right. Can you just talk a little bit about, your foundation of data?
Sure. I'd be happy to. I think you're right. Everyone is in a different stage of their evolution and how to use data. And we have millions and millions of data points at our disposition to be able to leverage. We are very careful to ensure that we're leveraging that in the best interest of our agents. And so that's something we really try to convey outwardly to our agents and their partners, that we're never going to do anything to step on their toes. But we want to help enable them to be more effective at working with their clients. And so whether that means working with third parties or using first party data that we have to indicate that there's buying cues, this person's in market, they might be looking to switch plans. We want to help you to be able to help them before they go to another agent. Consumers have options, right? That we're not blind to that. We are not their only option out there. And so we want to leverage data in that way to help our agents to be able to better serve their customers and be protective of that. Another great example of that is with our agents. We try to give them the best leads possible. And you kind of asked about this before. And that includes, there's lots of lead options out there for agents to be able to do their own marketing or run third-party lead campaigns. We leverage proprietary lead scoring models to be able to indicate, based on past performance, we know who's enrolled, who's chosen a plan, who's actually applied. Let's leverage that to be able to help an agent prioritize a lead, as well as help them to purchase only the top quality leads, right? Let's only give those people that have a high propensity or high likelihood to convert. So those are some examples of how we're helping our agents and using data to enable them to be more effective.
So Jordan, when you either go to a conference or you're talking to a customer, what are some of these challenges? I'm sure they're giving you their opinion all the time, but what are some challenges that they say, hey, this is what we're seeing in the marketplace and we need help with this? Is there some themes that you could share with us that you're hearing out there?
Yeah, I think it's about, some of those themes would include being able to more efficiently serve more people, right? That's what they're mainly trying to do, whether that means more leads at a lower cost, or whether that means better technology to be able to compliantly scope and sell a policy, or whether that means being able to work virtually instead of having to meet with every one of their customers in person. So that's really what we've been trying to do on the software side, is enable them to do all of those things in a simple way and in a suite that's connected. And that's where the data really comes to be very important, is if they're doing anything from growing their agency all the way down to getting started and trying to just find a customer to talk to, we have a solution for that, and it's integrated, right? They can procure leads and be able to work those leads all the way up to, now I'm ready to start recruiting and growing my agency and having more people underneath me that can help me to serve more Americans. So those are the themes, I'd say, is just how can I work more efficiently? And so everything we do is trying to focus around enabling that.
So Jordan, I know that you were just in Machu Picchu. Do you have is there any learnings that you did? Did you have an epiphany when you're looking down and you're in Peru and you're like, I need to bring this back to my team?
I think the main takeaway is we all just need to travel more. It's so refreshing to get to see the world and realize how different the world is, but at the same time, how the same we all are across the world, right? And from an epiphany perspective, I didn't have any visions up there. I wasn't doing any ayahuasca tours. I was with my 4 kids, and we had a great time. It was awesome.
Well, that sounds inexpensive to bring all 4 kids. And the problem is you have 6 kids, you left 2 at home. Just kidding. So Jordan, could you just briefly just talk about our partnership between Verisk and Integrity, just on a high level, and sort of how we work together?
Yeah, sure. So I was originally working with Infutor/Jornaya. And so I was actually kind of the foray into becoming more of a Verisk champion internally and introducing Verisk. As you guys have grown and evolved, we've grown and evolved and needed more services on the data side for identity resolution. And the data team on our side is working very heads down, both on the agent side and consumer side, to take all these millions of data points that we have, right? So we have policy data from hundreds of carriers across the country that we receive, and we have hundreds of thousands of agents. And so it's matching all of those people and making sure that we have a clear and concise way to say, we know this person is the same as this other person or this other household that has a plan. And Verisk has been instrumental in helping us to be able to get that project off the ground. That's on the data side. As I mentioned, I've been working for a few years with Jornaya on the compliance and lead generation side to ensure that when we are providing solutions for our agents to purchase leads, that they have that proof of consent, that TCPA guidance to be able to fall back on and say, yes, we trust and know that this lead, we won't have any issues, that consumer actually had an intent to be contacted about this product. So that's how that relationship's evolved. And then we've really gotten into leveraging some of the Verisk data sets recently to do things like lead scoring and to do things like data append for us to do more customer household matching on some of our advertising tactics. So yeah, it's been a great partnership.
Thank you for the mini commercial. I appreciate it, Jordan. Hey, you've been a great guest. Thank you for coming on and joining and dealing with me. But thanks. And your coffee mug, your Marketing Rapport coffee mug, is in the mail. All guests get it. So thanks again, Jordan.
I'll have to start drinking coffee again. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Marketing Report. This show is brought to you by Verisk Marketing Solutions, an organization created to help CMOs and their partners improve the reach, timing, relevance, and compliance of every consumer engagement. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to the Marketing Report wherever you get your podcasts, and check out the show notes for more information.